In 1983, while I was having my morning prayer time and my Bible reading time, something very strange happened to me. And in that moment, there was a video screen that came down, and on there was a movie that took place. And I was in the movie. I was watching it, but I was also in it. And I was in a strange land of very high mountains and rice fields and strange little huts. And I looked down as I walked along this riverbank. I looked down, and my 3 children were in the water. And at that stage of my life, they were just very young, just 2, 4, and 6. And they were splashing and looked to me like they were floundering, but it was like I was ignoring them and reaching out, and I'd put my hands into the water and they would disappear. The water was so dirty, but as I would lift them up, a child, an Asian child, was in them. And I would hand this child to another Asian person and repeat the procedure. And it would seem to go on for a long time, but it was probably only seconds. And I said very quickly, God, are you asking me to sacrifice my own children to rescue others? I can't do that. And as quickly as I said that, it stopped. And I filed it away. I put it to the back of my mind. I ignored it with the busyness of life. But over the years, God started to speak to both of our hearts about mission and what we needed to be doing. And in 1999, I was sitting in a conference getting ready to listen to a man called Jack Haynes. And I had my pen and paper because he was a great mission statesman and I wanted to hear everything he had to say. But I didn't hear a word because the movie screen came down, and that same movie that I saw in 1983 was played out in front of my eyes again. And I looked, and the children were still in the water. They were still splashing. I was reaching out and rescuing Asian children. But I listened to what the Spirit of God was saying, and right then God spoke to me and said, would you look at what your children are doing? And while I thought that they were actually floundering, they were actually creating a wave. And they were creating this whirlpool effect for...
They were facilitating it, weren't they?
And they were. And the Spirit of God spoke to me and said, now's the time. Your children are going to facilitate you moving into the plans that I have for you. And that has actually taken place. In the last 4 or 5 years of our life, we've seen our children step up into leadership roles that has released us into doing what God's called us to do. And so with that vision firmly in my heart, we started to pray. We started to look, we started to listen to where God wanted us to start this. And we hid it in our heart as we ventured out into Asia, watching and looking to see where God was going to lead us.